Going back to the Cavs, and I asked you this question.
Yeah.
Is it fair to call them the favorites?
The betting favorite. Yeah, I think you have to. I think this trade has, tilted the scales in their favor, if you will. Listen, I think they were amongst the teams, obviously, based on the roster, based on how they've played over the last couple of years, the trending in the right direction, if you will, to beat the Eastern Conference Final representative this year. They should be in that conversation, right?
They should have been walking into the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Somehow along the way, with injury and things not looking right in the beginning of the season, I think we all kind of lost our way, and we're like, well, let's just see what they look like at the end of the year.
Lost our way. People were calling for Kenny Atkinson's head.
That's losing your way.
In January. That's losing your mind. I was laughing about that, and I knew that was just ridiculous chatter. However,
does it pay to be the coach of the year in this town now?
But it just shows you the expectations and what they were, right? And rightfully so. In terms of them being the favorite right now, yeah, I would think they would have to be. I would still favor them in a series right now against the Pistons, who have the big lead in the East. I tell you what, and I mentioned to you guys in the break, the team that nobody's talking about that's put together a nice little run here are the Toronto Raptors, who are suddenly 10 games over 500 and playing pretty good ball with a young team with a couple of nice stars. Scotty Barnes is one of those young guys that's kind of ascending into, more of that all-star, perennial all-star type player. So, again, as we've talked about mostly this morning, great start with Harden. Probably better than any of us anticipated, just in terms of the smoothness of it all. A little bit of a bumpy schedule coming up, which is going to be.
Still, we're talking to somebody. We have the fifth easiest schedule in basketball.
We do,
down the stretch.
But there's some
tough games.
Little back-to-backs and what have you. Now,
if the season ended today, we'd open with the Raptors, right? Because they're the 5 seed.
Yeah, that's interesting.
We're 4, they're 5.
I didn't realize that. Okay,
yeah, that'd be a tough start to the playoffs.
It certainly would be. And the great thing too, Andy, is that they've become must-watch now again, too, haven't they?
I said that last week.
Yeah.
You watch one game with Harden, and then all of a sudden, and it wasn't like you didn't want to watch because of Mitchell. That was probably the other reason you were watching.
Right.
Especially because all the other guys seemed to be hurt or something was going on. Yeah. And it wasn't, I was like, oh, is the game on? All right, let's go watch. Now it's like, what time is the game on?
Exactly. What I love, too, that it's now that we've transitioned from the fake spring of the last week. Last week.
Yes.
We're going to get another little dose of winter. This warms you up at night. So everybody will be watching them play Charlotte tonight, which I think also, by the way, that team has been really hot and played really well and has some good players. They're on a back-to-back, much like the Cavs are tonight, so that'll be an interesting game.
I found it interesting that, just when you're out and about and what people want to talk about.
Yeah.
And I still think 80% of the time someone's going to say, who's the quarterback? What are they doing a quarterback? Who now it's phased into, who are they going to draft? That's the hot thing when I run into people. But I can't tell you how many people.
More so last
night. It's a lot of Cavs stuff now.
Yeah, no, it is.
In fact, yesterday, and it was somebody I know who didn't listen to the show yesterday. Like, what are they going to do with this rotation? Oh my God! I mean, now they've got players, and you're bringing Mobley back. He's not hurt. You got other guys coming back, and. What are they going to do with the rotation? What are they going to do? And when you think about it, it's probably the coach's most important job. And, when you've got a great team that's easy, you just throw the basketball out there and go play.
Yeah.
And say, okay, let's run this play if we need to do that, if you need to.
Yeah. One of the things that fascinates me most, since you just brought it up, Andy, is how this is going to change Mobley. How Harden is going to make Mobley a better player or a different player.
Sure.
I think we've all seen...
We've seen what he's done for Allen. Just watching Allen, it's just night and day. It's what I think we all wanted from Allen. It's what we all expected from Allen.
Agreed.
And now and I was like, is it Allen or is it the team? What is it? And now, to me, it felt like it was the team.
Well, and Mobley has shown that he can be a good offensive finisher, right? Around the basket, he's really tough, right? When he's got the ball, 20 feet away, nobody's really too worried about Evan Mobley. Now, you've got Evan Mobley on the baseline or in the paint, and James Harden or Donovan Mitchell with the ball on the wing. That defense is going to have to make some rotations that they're not comfortable with. It's an entirely different game plan defensively that you've got to think about with Harden out there, because Harden can drive, find those lobs, kick the ball to the wing. They've got shooters all over the place right now. That's the other thing too, Andy. Early on in the year, as you know, everybody was like scratching their head. Why is this team shooting 43 3-pointers a night? It was tough.
I could not watch it. I was coming in there every day saying to Jeff, I'm like, Jeff, I can't sit here and watch these guys. I mean, even if we have a 6-point lead.
Yeah.
Oh, let's just start throwing up threes.
Yeah.
Who cares? Oh, you throw, you shoot.
Yeah.
How about I see big guys down low that are wide open? How about pass the ball? How about take a shot? Maybe you want to take a 3-pointer? Okay. Can we get someone in the area code so they might be able to get a rebound if you miss?
Yeah.
That's what we were watching.
Right. And yeah, that's changed already, hasn't it? So, yeah, good stuff.
All right, so we feel good. Does it matter to you where they land when it's all said and done? I think at this point,
in terms of seed,
yeah, if you could get to the 2 seed, I think that'd be great.
Yeah,
I'm not expecting the top seed.
Listen, you're going to have to go through whoever's in your path is in your path, right? I don't really put too much in that. Now, listen, sometimes there are really bad matchups. Sometimes there's a team that you want to avoid in the first round or the second round, right? At all costs.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to assess the top of the East this year, though, Andy, only because there's been such inconsistency, right? I mean, the Knicks one night look like world beaters, and then they'll have a 4 or 5 game losing streak. Don't know what to make of I still think Philadelphia is a very dangerous team, obviously, particularly if Joel Embiid is healthy. So it's really hard to assess them right now. And I think, as you brought up before, what we're all trying to figure out is, are the Pistons a legitimate NBA title contender? Because nobody thought that going into the season.
I think we look at that more from the Cleveland point of view.
Because JB is there.
And because of what happened to us last year.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I think a lot. I was like, Pistons are up 5.5 games. Oh.
Except though last year the Cavs were supposed to be in that spot. The Pistons aren't supposed to be in this spot, right? This is a huge ascension for them. Right? Probably a little bit premature, if you will. I mean, they've jumped from, that 6, 7, 8 to suddenly the top team in the East. So, and by the way, as I said to you earlier, I believe in them. Cade Cunningham is a tremendous player.
And it just seems to be getting better every game.
And he does. And they've got some really good role players around him, and they've got a toughness about them. And JB's got them playing at a really high level right now.
And he had 42 last night.
Is that what he finished with?
He had 42 against the Knicks. I knew it. I couldn't remember what he ended up with. 38 minutes, 42 points, 7 of 34 from the field, 5 of 11 from 3-point. 8 boards, 13 assists.
And by the way, they've been a team that has roughed up the Knicks. And who roughs up the Knicks? Right?
The Pistons.
That's what I'm saying. So this is a team that you got to really take a hard, long look at. And I tell you what, how would that Eastern Conference final be? Detroit versus Cleveland?
Oh, man.
Would that be any fun?
School.
Would that be any fun?
Yeah, the only thing would be the other rumor that's flying around.
Oh, boy.
You bring LeBron back.
Yeah.
It's so weird for me when you start talking about James.
He'll be sitting in the second row or the first row, by the way, for
with Harden,
game 5 in Cleveland.
Whenever someone says James, it's like, I don't know why, but
your mind goes there.
I
go
right to LeBron
that's
away,
funny.
like within 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's funny.
You think he's done at the end of the year? What do you think he's going to do? I don't think he's done. Jeff, Jeff and I, philosophically, I think are a little different on this.
Go ahead.
I totally think. I mean, we all sat back. You were in that final Kobe press conference here, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, I was sitting in that room too, and every time I think about LeBron's last year, I think about
retirement tour.
Yeah, I think about. That was probably one of my favorite press conferences of all time.
It was great.
I mean, they handed him a microphone. It was like being on a talk show.
Yeah, it was like
it wasn't even
the
a
Phil
press
Donahue show.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was great.
And I think back to LeBron's early days in the league where it was kind of the same, except it was this really young man who would just be inundated in every city we would go to. Because I was traveling that year with the team, and I'll never forget going to Toronto as long as I live. And we were at the Air Canada Centre at that point, and there must have been 25 to 40 cameras. I don't even know. They were all surrounding him. And it wasn't like a press conference. It was people standing up front holding microphones.
Right.
And this was his first trip into Toronto. And they were just firing questions at him. And then all of a sudden he goes, this building is just legendary. And he was talking about, the Raptors of the past. He goes, but not only that, it's from, the Maple Leafs and what hockey means to this community. I was like, how old is he that he knows not only about the history of Toronto, but he knows how to play to the fans as a rookie going into other cities. Nobody. I've never seen that.
He did that
before.
in every city, as you know.
Every city, the same thing. Yeah.
So when we talk about a retirement tour, though, I mean, listen, LeBron's ego is his ego, right? So I know he would savor that. I know that would be important to him, but I don't know.
I can't see him sitting and laughing on a rocking chair.
Yeah, I don't know if he needs that, to be honest. I'll be honest with you. I think these playoffs coming up will determine where LeBron is going to go next year.
Does he come back here next year?
I think there's a possibility of it. If he's willing to play for the player minimum, the mid-level exception.
Everyone talks about LeBron.
Whatever label you want to put on it.
I think it's interesting. Everyone talks about LeBron, whether he wants to come back to Cleveland, Nobody turns around and says, and because you would think from a business standpoint, you'd be a fool not to want it, but nobody's talking about what Dan Gilbert wants. Does Dan Gilbert want LeBron to come back?
I think he'd take him in a second.
You do?
Oh, my God, yeah. 100%.
The only reason I agree with you is because they were able to patch it up when things were
I was
going to
say, he won him a championship. Of course he would bring him back. There's no doubt in my mind.
I almost think if they won a championship this year, it'd be easier for him to come back next year.
Let's see how this postseason goes. Because I think should the Cavs not win it all this year, I think the possibility, I think the chances increase that LeBron comes back here. Huh. I also think, to me, the two places to also keep in mind are, I'll give you three.
All right.
New York.
Sure.
Chance to end that drought there if he ever joined that Knicks team. I mean, how about another feather in his cap for the legacy, right?
Right.
I think Dallas is another long shot possibility. I know
everyone wants to say Golden State, too.
I know he likes Cooper Flag a lot. I don't see Golden State only because that kind of
odds makers like that.
Yeah, I know they do, but that kind of tarnishes the LeBron legacy, right? Only because of what his history is with the Warriors. And the other long shot I'll throw at you is China. I could see LeBron going for one season in China and playing for $200 million or whatever it is that they would be willing to pay him. Because you know what that does? That sells sneakers on a global market and increases that brand.
And that's also, I play 1 year there, you've got your seed money to go take over a franchise in Vegas.
You do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's his goal, right?
Yeah.
Is to be part of an ownership group wherever it is. So
it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let's come back. We're going to get it.
Always is.
All right.